Morning, everybody. Got another video. You see right here, this is the Comma 2 from Comma.ai running OpenPilot version 0.8.0. You may have heard me talk about the Comma 2 during previous videos. They had a sale the week of Black Friday, so I thought I'd get in on that. I think I said during my previous videos that I didn't necessarily know if it was worth $1,200. Well, I got it for $1,100. So anyway, the relative value of the system, it really only does steering for this car, so relative value, I don't know. Hard to make that argument, but I will say this car, or this system, does a couple things that the stock system doesn't do. Number one is it definitely gives you audible alerts when it's engaged and when it's not engaged, and that is extremely helpful. Because with the stock system, if you've watched my other videos, you never kind of knew when it was steering and when it wasn't. So anyway, we're going to try these curves again that the stock system couldn't handle if you watched my prior videos. And we're going to see if OpenPilot can handle these curves. Now, I've got the map up over here. I'm not sure if you can see this in the video or not. Let's see whether that comes out. But you can kind of see where these curves are going to kind of bend the road here and there. We're just going to see if OpenPilot can handle it. So we've got curve 1, OpenPilot. You can see I'm not even going for the steering wheel. No problem whatsoever. Also, the lane markings are very, very faded. The stock system had a hard time even finding the lanes. OpenPilot, no problems whatsoever. Again, I'm driving 93rd Avenue heading east. Plenty of curves on this road, plenty of ups and downs. We've got a curve here. It's actually a pretty steady banked curve. I've already tried this, so I know that it's going to work. No problem. I will say I did try this yesterday. It was a little bit sunny. Definitely struggled with the sun a little bit. Wasn't quite as clean with the curves as it is today. Today it's having absolutely no problem whatsoever. We're going to get to some straight rights and left here in a couple miles, and you'll see this thing really, really performs well. I might have to grab the steering wheel for those, but it mostly gets it. Here's another bend, 30 miles an hour. No problem. You can see it said, hey, you're not paying attention there. You're not looking at the road. So rather than the stock system, which has a wheel mag, it'll say, hey, grab the wheel and shake it to let us know you're there. This system actually has cameras. So it's got 2 cameras over here and 2 infrared cameras over here to kind of keep an eye on me. And it lets the system know whether I'm down looking at my phone, whether, it can track my eyes as well as my head, to let the system know whether I'm paying attention to the road or not. If I'm not paying attention to the road, you'll see it'll ping me. Okay, so heading into, got a little bit more of a straightaway here. Now, it does use the stock cruise for what's called longitudinal, or gas and brake. So it still has the same rules about you have to be higher than 5 miles an hour before you can set the cruise. And the cruise goes, minimum 20 miles an hour, maximum whatever. But you have to be at 5 miles an hour before you can resume the cruise. You can hear every time I press the brake, it gives the little sound there to let you know that it's disengaged the system. And again, that little audible cue when you're trying to keep your eyes on the road, extremely helpful. And then you can hear as I hit the resume, it went back on. The lane centering, much more solid than the stock system. The stock system would have a pretty pronounced tendency to ping pong between the left and the right side. This also does a better job of handling right turn lanes, left turn lanes, where the stock system kind of looked like it didn't know where to go when there was a turn lane. So for example, if there was a right turn lane here, it would veer into that before it figured out, hey, that's not where I want to be. This system doesn't do that. Hopefully we'll be able to show you that. So straight road here. We'll get some curves coming up here in about a quarter of a mile. And you can see what this thing really does. You can see up here on the map, we're going to do that. We're going to take that right and then that left. And it's mostly going to do it. I might have to grab the wheel for a little bit of it, but it's mostly going to handle that. Alright, so we're coming up on the curve here. I did take the cruise down to 20 yesterday when I did this. Speed limit's 25, so I'm going to go ahead and take speed limit down to 25. Let's just see how it does at 25. You can see on the map, this is almost entirely a right turn. I got cars upcoming here. Oh, fell off the road. That wasn't great. Okay. Yeah, and then it said, hey, take control. To be fair, that's a really narrow road and a really sharp turn. You can also see there it kind of went over the center line. So not great there, but that's a pretty tough turn. Go ahead and kick it back up to 30. I definitely did fall off the road there, where I was about to, in the early part of that. Another turn, no issue. This one's really sharp at the top of this hill. I'm going to go ahead and get down to 20 miles an hour for this turn. And watch for oncoming traffic. Yeah, didn't quite get it. Had to help it there at the end. But again, that's a really sharp turn. It'll handle this bend up here, no problem. Just pay attention here. Now it said to take control. I never did, never touched it. So we'll go through downtown St. John here, and then I think on my second video I showed some more curves. I'm going to go ahead and try and knock those out with this video. But you kind of get the idea, right? It handles much better than the stock system. And I think you've probably seen, as I've been running along here, the lane center. Now here's an example of, there's a turn lane. Stock system wouldn't know what quite to do with there. That went very nicely. Now what's it going to do with this Escalade? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and brake. I really wanted to let that Escalade in, but he didn't jump out far enough for the system to detect him. And again, it's using stock gas and brakes, so that's not necessarily on OpenPilot. I did mount this thing a little bit high. It is partially obstructed by the rear view mirror. Beginners. Let's see, what else? Lane centering, steering much better. Gas and brake being handled by the stock system. The owner of Comma.ai, this guy by the name of George Hotz, does drive a Sonata Limited, which is the next, I think that's actually 2 tiers above the car that I'm driving, but it's the same car. So it is my expectation that they will continue to support the 2020 Sonata in the future. I think he even kind of said under his breath under one of the videos that this is going to be their car to support full self-driving. You can see we had turn lanes back there on both sides. OpenPilot didn't struggle with that at all. The full self-drive, I'll believe that one when I see it, but we'll see what happens. So overall, I'm really, really impressed with OpenPilot. It handles much more scenarios much more confidently than the stock system does. However, the value proposition is definitely a thing. I'll say for my part, I definitely wanted to support the project. There are not any other aftermarket systems available at this point, so there are no competitors. There's supposed to be one coming out early next year, but it's extremely expensive. It's like $3,500 to install, and then they want like $100 a month or something. I think it's called Ghost. So that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So I'm excited about the potential, the future of this product. I think it's interesting. I think it's neat. There's a neat community behind it in Discord. OpenPilot wasn't quite sure about that left turn lane, but it figured it out. Guy behind me is probably wondering, what in the world am I doing? What else? Yes, like I said, I'm really excited about the project. I think it does some really neat things, and it has some neat promise. So every time I pull into my garage, they're going to go ahead and, another curve here, kind of a light bend, but it'll take it. Every time I pull into my garage, they'll be downloading the videos from this onto their servers and analyzing them. I think they're looking at any points where the system was disengaged and trying to figure out how to improve those things. I don't actually know how that works, but they are uploading all the videos, and then you can access them on your account too. So another curve, no problem. Now the one up here is the one that's really rough. So you can see we do another left-right here, and the right is actually pretty severe. So I'm expecting to have to grab the wheel on that one. This one should be okay. Oops, it didn't. I did have to grab the wheel there. And then this one, I put the speed down, and it handled it. Very nice. Oh, it did struggle with the lane there afterwards. So anyway, that is OpenPilot. You can see room for improvement on some of those curves, but way, way better than the stock system. Stock system wouldn't have had a chance in any of that. Just to show you how well this actually works, if you can get on a local street without cars, it'll run. So here, there's no markings whatsoever. I am going to have to take control to avoid this truck, or it's just going to stop behind it. But yeah, no lane markings whatsoever in this local subdivision. And OpenPilot doesn't have any problems with that whatsoever. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll go ahead and stop the video and stay tuned for OpenPilot updates. I think this is going to be an exciting journey. All right, we'll see you later.